During the week of June 9, 2014, the Republican legislative majority of the Nassau County Legislature published to its website a series of proposed legislative ordinances. One of those in the group of bills was simply named, quote, Proposed Ord 73-14, unquote, period. If you opened the PDF of that ordinance, you would find that it is a 36-page list of proposed fee increases for recreational, athletic, nature study, meeting rooms, and other uses of public facilities by the public. The proposed ordinances came before the legislature for consideration on June 16, 2014. Following a superficial, generalized, poorly informed description of this bill by the county attorney, there was what passes for debate amongst some of the legislators as to whether the increases were justified or wise or were, quote, backdoor tax increases, unquote. Then it was public comment time. 3 persons registered for public comment, and this video shows the comments they were permitted to make and also gives a taste of the level of poor decorum to which the presiding officer's treatment of public-spirited citizens has reached. The 3 citizens had been waiting more than 3 hours to make their comments. A link for the full legislative session appears in the YouTube notes to this video. There is also a link to the text of the legislation in question. A view of this short clip indicates a need for the presiding officer to improve the manner in which she exercises the discretionary powers of her office. You can judge that for yourself. A view of the full proceeding shows that the entire legislature could use some counseling as to the effective, fair, and probative exercise of their powers. This clip and message are sponsored by the Democratic Club of Rockville Centre, New York, in the public interest. The Democratic Club of Rockville Centre was instrumental in securing the publication and archiving for the first time of the written transcripts and videos of proceedings of the Nassau County Legislature.
Any public comment? Now, Mr. Young, you may speak on this if you wish.
I'd like to speak on this, Madam Presiding Officer and the Legislature. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. My name is Bob Young. I live at 29 Central Parkway in Merrick. I am no longer in Dave's district, so I don't think there's anything going on here. I come to you today because, and this is not in, for me, and Norma can tell you how much I really care about the parks and the preserves. I got a question. Excuse me?
You don't care about the parks and the preserves?
I said you could say how much I do.
Oh, okay.
I'm
all
sorry.
Because I know you a long time.
Yeah, I'm a little tired from waiting here all afternoon to talk.
All right.
Okay, but I'd like to get to it. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the role of government is to provide services. And one of the services it does provide to me, which I use a lot of, is our parks and preserves, and numerous people up here can attest to that. My question is, I pay full taxes. Okay, I don't get any discount, maybe little, the star or whatever, but I pay full taxes. Now, I also have to pay fees, increased fees. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a taxpayer. I own the facilities. Not the guy that comes here from New York City to play a couple of rounds of golf, whatever. I own the facilities. Now, in order for me to use my facilities, I have to pay more. All right, I don't like it. I understand that it may be necessary to raise fees, and I take a look at the fees that are being raised. Okay, to me, I got a problem with this. Now, I didn't go down the list all that far, but proportionately to, and I own the fees, to people who don't own the fees, my percentage has gone up. And almost invariably throughout this whole document, that's the case. You can start with page 1, Archery Ordinance 199-2011. Okay, Nassau County resident goes up from $2 to $3.33%. Non-resident goes from 5 to 6, 18%. And citizen seniors, all that, you know, cops, everybody, 50%. So the ones that own it, the ones that live here, they got to pay more proportionally than the people that come from outside. I got a big problem with that. Okay? If you were to say it's 10% across the board or whatever, my criticism would not be valid. I can go to another one. I can go to this whole thing. Well, I'll just throw out a couple more. Miniature golf. I like to play mini golf. My friends come in from out of town. We do our yearly challenge over here at Eisenhower Park. Okay? It goes up from $7 to $8. That's 14% roughly. People that live from not here, from $10 to $11, a 9% increase. Again, the people that live here pay more. And I go through the whole thing. Batting cage ordinance. Okay, resident goes from $3 to $4, 25% increase. Non-resident goes from $5 to $6, 18% increase. Beaches, vehicle access. Non-resident goes from 35 to 37, maybe an 8% increase. Daily resident goes from 8 to 10, a 20% increase. And it goes on and on and on. You see, I can't understand why the people that own the equipment, people that own the facilities, have to pay more proportionately than the people who don't. Now, if you're looking for the dollars, I think you should find a better place to do it. I got more questions. I'm not done. I don't think that you should tax the residents for using the facilities, because I like to use the facilities. I like to play hockey. I like to go and play mini golf. And I do it. Okay, I'm out there, I'm active. Why should I pay more? If you price me out, then I can go anywhere. It's all the same. And I point to some of the hockey fees, which basically equate it don't matter if you live here, you don't live here, it all works out the same, and I'm not going to address them specifically.
Mr. Young, your 3 minutes have expired.
Okay, but other people spoke longer. Can I beg for more?
Please wrap it up.
I'm going to wrap it up. Okay. A question I have, okay, and there's two more things. One more thing on the Tacapusha Preserve and Garbage Point Museum, where the general admission has gone up for 33% for children, 25% for general, nothing for if you don't live here. So if you come here from wherever, you're paying the same amount. There was a thing here, it says, seasonal dinghy rack under this category. So I called up Tacapusha, because I go there all the time, and I said, hey, where's your dinghy rack? I have a dinghy. I used to be a sailor. Where is it at? This document isn't even prepared properly because it lists the dinghy rack as part of both parks. It does not exist. I called today the latest to confirm. So to wrap
Are you
it up,
almost there?
it doesn't exist. Excuse me?
Are you almost there and wrapping it up?
Maybe, yes.
No, it's not maybe.
Okay, I'd like to add one more thing, and I'm almost done.
One more thing. That's
one more
it.
thing. One more thing.
One more.
Okay, so I belong to the Long Island Curling Club. Now, I know the county's looking for money, right? This is what it's all about. We went to the people that are developing the hockey rinks, and we said to them, we have over 200 members in our Long Island Curling Club. We would like to play at Eisenhower Park. Can we work out some kind of partnership? We were told no. We can't. Now, I see two massive hockey rinks there. We want to pay, we want to play, nobody's even interested. So I suspect that the workers are being done properly, and that's it for me, and I have one
Mr.
comment.
Young, you're wrapping it up.
I'm wrapping it up.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, so I'm saying that I don't like to pay the fee. So I'm done with what I have to say. A friend of mine asked me to read the statement in. I'd like to.
What happened to wrapping it up,
I'm done.
Mr. Young?
I'm done with me.
No. Submit it. You could submit the statement to the clerk. We'll
All
be
right, then
glad
I'm not
to take
wrapping
it.
it up. My question is.
Bob, now you notice before I said Mr. Young because I wanted to be professional.
Well,
now
I'm being professional. My only comment
Bob,
is you're going to do what you want to do. I will sit down.
Submit that to the clerk. Now, any public comment? Mr. Botel.
Good afternoon. I'm Henry Boytel. I'm a resident of Rockville Center for more than 40 years. I speak as an individual and not representing any party or group. I want to speak about this 35 or 40 page list of fees that are being raised. And I think there are some other legislation you're considering that also raises fees and permit fees and fines and the like. There was a time that the average family could go to a baseball game or a movie or a Broadway show without any great problem. Maybe I betray my age when I say that. Now, the cost of those activities has skyrocketed. Practically everything we do is click, click, click on the meter, ranging from young kids with cell phones and other kinds of activities to senior citizens. This is at a time that the income of the average person has not been increasing. So we're increasing fees and costs, but most of us are stuck in an income which has not increased, and for many has actually gone down. It's within that context you ought to be viewing this question of fees. The parklands, beaches, nature walks, public meeting rooms, athletic facilities owned by the people of Nassau have a value, I don't know, maybe billions of dollars. They belong to all of us. As the gentleman who spoke before me just said, they do, they belong to all of us, regardless of social or economic standing. When fees are imposed for their use, they are a minor expenditure for some people, but for others they compete with the necessities of life. Every time you raise a usage fee or a license or a permit, you give the wealthy more breathing room, and you discourage the use of those facilities by the poor and the middle class. The imposition of fees across the board is the worst example of regressive taxation. Now, we heard a little while ago that the commissioner appears to have some broad kind of discretion to waive fees. I was somewhat taken aback at that because I didn't hear that there's some record kept of that. I didn't hear that there's some indication that I can find out who the other people are that are getting their fees waived. It seems like a kind of special consideration that can be given to some and not to others who don't know about it, who don't have standing or don't have a contact. I don't think that's a very wise thing.
Mr. Boytel, your 3 minutes have expired.
One of the worst aspects of government in Nassau County is the large number of independent taxing authorities and fee-setting authorities. Each authority looks at the reasonableness of its own levies, utilizing its self-created measurements. No official in the county is looking at the overall burden of taxation and fees upon the individual. Do you have before you a public impact statement with regard to the imposition of these fees that you are being asked to raise today? If you do, I haven't heard about it. Is there such a thing? Has there been an impact study done? Today's exercise is one more example of county government.
Mr. Boytel, first
Yes.
of all, I'm going to tell you need to wrap it up. But to answer your question, we have required to have an fiscal impact study done on it. Okay?
Has that been, is that
We
public?
Where they are required, we do so. Where they're not, we don't.
Well, the question is
And now
there
my
one here on
question
this?
to you is, are you ready to wrap it up?
Almost, but
That's not almost. He called you over a minute ago. It's now.
Today's exercise is one more example of county government focusing only on how to plug a hole that NIFA is forcing you to address. I suggest, I'm going to skip over some affirmative suggestions I had for you, and I'm going to ask if I can.
Mr. Boytel, you can submit a statement if you'd like.
I
Put
will.
it in the record.
I'll wrap it up
right
by
now,
saying
you need
this.
to wrap it up.
I'll wrap it up by saying
Okay.
this. I suggest that instead of blindly adopting these substantial fee increases, you go back to the drawing boards, not to plug a hole, but to create a foundation for the future of Nassau County.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to hand in a copy of my statement, if I may, and I'd ask that it be
Do it to the
annexed
clerk.
to the
It
minutes.
goes into the record.
Thank you.
Claudia Barecki.
My question is directed to Legislator Mike Venditto. You could have stopped these fee increases in committee, yet when your vote would have mattered, you had someone sitting on this committee so that the fee increases would move forward and you wouldn't have to cast a vote. Can you tell me why you walked?
You're overstepping your bounds.
Can you tell me why you walked out of committee on such an important vote?
You are overstepping your bounds. You are bordering on politics. Knock it off.
I'm sorry. I've heard a lot of politics going on by legislator Nicola a little while ago.
Absolutely.
I think
I am sorry.
The public needs to hear why he
Claudia, I am speaking. I will tell you, for 10 years I didn't hear you come up here and complain about fees that Mr. Denenberg voted for.
Legislator Denenberg has always sought fees, whether it was Suozzi opposed them or Mangano opposed them. That's a fact.
You have any other comments? Please make it.
Yes, I would like to know why you, at the time the Finance Committee was meeting, that you at Wanto High School, outside your district, speaking to teacher retirement, campaigning on county time. Can you answer that? Well, he was supposed to be in committee casting a vote about these fees. At the same time, he was standing in Wanto.
This is not appropriate, Claudia, and you do it time and time again. It's got to stop.
I just asked for an answer.
That's not a question.
It is a question. I'm asking where he was.
There's a motive behind it, and I can see through it.
Well, we haven't heard enough motives tonight.
He does not have to justify his time to you.
He should justify it to his constituents in the least. Thank you.
Norma,
I'm sorry.
I'm not defending Claudia.
No, I'm sorry.
But Claudia, if someone asked me a question on where I was on county time during a crucial vote, I think that does warrant an answer. I'm just being fair. I have the deepest respect for Michael as well as for David. I wish them both better. David a little bit more.
It's always the manner in which it's addressed.
But that being said,
Minority Leader Cavani,
it is a fair question to ask a legislator. It's a fair question to ask his body where somebody was during a vote.
I don't have to protect anybody. He can protect himself.
But
just like you can protect yourself. I'm not in the.
No. I'm just saying this though. Look, let's just be all big in the room. Some of us are running for higher office.
Yes, that's right.
And if I missed a vote while not being here, it is totally fair game. Someone can ask a question where I was when I missed that vote. That to me is fair game.
Okay, listen. There is Legislator Becker. Quiet.
No.
Quiet. Legislator Becker. You don't know the circumstances, please. All right. Okay. At this point, there's no other public comment.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And it'd be fair game if they ask me.
No,
it really isn't.
we're going to take a vote on item 12. Okay. You're out of order. Legislator Becker, we're moving on. There's no other public comment? No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay? Stay to the government. All right, all those in favor of item 12.